Hi, this is Belinda Colubriale and this is Talking High Performance with Belle. So I'm making this podcast for people who want to live their best life, people who know that there's more in them, but they just don't know how to get it. So there's a gap, something's missing, I'm making it for them. Welcome back to Talking High Performance with Belle. So I'm loving the feedback on the podcast. Thanks so much. So if you're enjoying what you're listening to, give us a like, leave a review, so we can reach more listeners. And so today I want to talk to you about breaking free from limiting beliefs that hold us back. And if I relate it to myself and to everybody, most of us have experienced holding on to beliefs that hinder our progress to some extent and limit our potential. And for example, myself, I've got a turned eye. So I've got an eye that turns slightly out, and I've had quite a few eye operations over the years. And so when I decided to go out and branch out, I didn't go out as my name. I went out as a brand called Elevate Your Thinking, and I hid behind my website. My first website, I thought it was really good. But when I look back, gosh, it had no personality in there. No offense to my design guy. He was great, but he just followed my brief. And so as I got more comfortable and, did more of the work and go, you know what, this is me. I'm showing up authentically. I'm on my website now because I am who I am and I'm proud of who I am. And everyone's a work in progress to some extent. And so showing up authentically is really, really important. And so today I want to share with you, 3 methods for overcoming limiting beliefs that have really helped me and help a lot of my clients and that will allow you to reach new heights, both personally and professionally. So let's jump straight in. So why do I want to talk about this today? And when we talk about high performance living, breaking free from limiting beliefs is really, really important in order to allow us to reach that next level of happiness and success, both personally and professionally. And it's a holistic approach to living. And one area, whether we realize it or not, always has an impact on the other. And limiting beliefs are those negative thoughts or ideas that we have about ourselves and the world around us. And these beliefs can often hold us back from reaching our full potential and moving forward, and often stop us from trying to pursue something. It's like that, protection mechanism that stops us from living a life that's authentic to ourselves and living a life that's congruent to how we want to be. And the problem is when we hold on to these beliefs and when we're putting up walls and creating barriers, we fail to see the endless possibilities that are around us. And for every limiting belief that we have, there's an equal and opposite opportunity waiting just around the corner for something. And, this could be a belief that we feel like we're not capable or we're not good enough or it's going to take too long. Whatever the belief is, there's a duality. So every time we feel like we're not capable, someone else has the belief that they are capable. When we feel we're not good enough, other people look at it and go, you know what, I am good enough. And it's being able to recognize that and jump onto those opportunities that really allow us to experience new possibilities and allow us to better handle what comes our way. And when we do that, we're reaching, and when we're achieving our goals and our dreams, we're doing what the top 15% of the world, people in the world are doing in reaching high performance. And if you think about your life, I want you to think about what beliefs are holding you back and what's the reason. It could be, I want to change my career, but I'm scared if I start from scratch, I won't be as successful. I won't be able to support my family. I won't be able to live how I am now. What will other people think of me? And this was a story that played out in my mind as well. When I was leaving my optical businesses, I put my stores for sale and then I freaked out and I went, oh God, no, I'm not ready yet. I'll stay a little bit longer. I didn't want to let go of the handrail, the security, my team, my partners. I knew when it would be busy. I knew when the quiet time was. And I knew I was going into a job where I had a feeling of when it would be busy, but I wasn't 100% sure and I would be starting from scratch. So if you think about your life, think about what's a belief that's holding you back at the moment and what's the underlying reason for that. And after you've done that, I want you to think about what do you want from your life? So before I begin to talk about 3 ways to begin to break free from these limiting beliefs, I want to ask you, what is it that you want? And this again is where the clarity part comes in. And one of the habits that separates a high performer from the rest is their ability to really recognize what they want from their life. And once you know what you want, it's much easier to break free and make those changes that are needed to move you forward. So what is it that you want? Do you have a clear vision of what you want to achieve, of who you want to be, of how you want your relationships to look? And once you do, it's much, much easier to move forward. And so if you have that clarity, and you're working towards something that matters, when a challenge arises, you're more likely to continue moving forward and going and staying committed to your goals. But it's often when we lack that clarity, when we're unsure, when all the limiting beliefs are coming in, that this starts to waver. So I want to talk about, what are 3 ways to break free from your limiting beliefs. And you can never become the best version of you. You can never become your most authentic self if you let your negative thoughts hold you back. So if you're going to let your limiting beliefs hold you back, you'll never reach, that top of the mountain that you can reach. And the first way to break free from limiting beliefs is be conscious of where you allow your focus to go from the time you wake up. So often people wake up, and this is often one of the hardest sessions I have with my clients, and because it's a flip in mindset, and we wake up and we go, oh, we're so busy today. Oh, I'm going to speak in front of my board of directors today, which I dread, or I need to have that difficult conversation with Mary today. And when this happens, we're automatically not directing our thoughts in the most positive way. What if we flip it and go, instead of I have so much to do today, go, I wonder how much I can get done by 12. It means the same thing, but the feeling is completely different. Or when I speak in front of my board of directors today, how can I make it better than last time? How can I show up in a better way? How can I get a better outcome? And again, it's got that positive connotation to it, and it's that positive psychology that we're talking to ourselves about, which really helps us to flip our mindset. Or if you're having that conversation with Mary, and Mary's often a Debbie Downer, go, how can I create a more positive impact in my conversation with Mary today? How can I make her happier? How can I make the outcome different? And it's up to us, and we've got the power to do that. And often the way we show up in a certain situation dictates the outcome of that situation. So if you were to show up thinking a little bit differently, feeling a little bit differently, then all of a sudden it doesn't feel like these tasks don't feel like something that are holding us back. It's something that allows us to expand our mindset. It's something that allows us to feel more positive. And that's growing, and that's really, really empowering. So that's the first way. The second way, and we spoke about this a little bit last session, in the last episode, but is controlling how much thought you give to certain emotions. And again, this is called relative weight and importance of duration. So we need to recognize when the inner critic comes in and then find ways to deal with it. And only we can do that. We can go to others for help, and they can help guide us and ask us questions to come up with our own truths. But we need to be the ones that flip this. And normally when we have a belief that's holding us back, there's a voice in our head, or there's a critic in our mind that's saying, you can't do that, you're not good enough, others can do it better, others have been doing it for longer, you're not tall enough, you're not short enough, or whatever it is. And we have a choice. We have a choice to listen to that and just sort of retreat back into our shell, or we have a choice to go, I'm going to flip it and I'm going to think differently. Or we have a choice to go, I'm going to think about it for a minute, and then I'm going to work out what I'm going to do. We've got all these different options and all these different choices that are available to us. And so often what we think about dictates the outcome of our results. So if we think about, okay, other people have been podcasting for 20 years, they're much better, I'm not going to start, and we can just stay comfortable at home. Or we can go, other people have been doing it, they started, and now they've got to where they are, and we can flip it and go, okay, we're starting, and in 20 years, that's going to be us. And we have all these different choices to flip it. And, when we talk about beliefs, there's always 2 sides. There's the I can side versus I can't side. There's the I'm too busy side versus I'm in control of what busy looks like. There's, I hate my life versus I love my life. There's all these different dualities that we can play out. And we have the choice of how we play those out in our mind. We have the choice of, do we listen to that or do we flip it? And that's really, really powerful. And then the last way is to live more from your strengths. Our weaknesses are our weaknesses. We can work on them, but they're never going to move us to the best version of ourselves. So if we go, okay, these are our strengths, how do I bring these strengths to create the best life for myself? How do I bring these strengths to create the best relationships? How do I bring these strengths to find a job that I'm passionate about? And sometimes we don't even know what our strengths are because we've been too busy focusing on the wrong thing. So today I challenge you to think about, what are 3 strengths that you have and how can you bring more of these into everyday life? And if you struggle to find what your strengths are, think about what would your family members describe you as? What would your friends describe you as? What would they say your strengths are? And that really, really helps to move forward as well. So there you have it, why it's important to flip our mindset around our limiting beliefs and challenge the stories that we tell ourselves, and 3 ways on how to break free, on things that are holding you back, and some ways moving forward, and some messaging around that and how to manage that. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please share this podcast with your friends so that we can reach more listeners, and I'll chat to you next week where I'll be speaking about 9 ways to integrate self-care and self-improvement into your daily life. Until next time, live a successful, purposeful and fully charged life. Your coach, Belle.